the Jökulárhlaup, and we're going to be going from Dettifoss down to Asbyrgi. It's about 21 miles, it says. Fairly easy route. John here is going to drive down, stop and check out the basaltic columns on the way. And it's kind of cold, but we had this beautiful night here in a parking lot for the Iceland equivalent of the Grand Canyon, and we were by ourselves. We had the whole thing to ourselves. We went to the waterfalls, nobody there except for us. It was awesome. So I'm going to be off here in just a moment. Okay. Landscape is all from the largest glacier in Europe, 10 times the mass of any other glacier. It starts with a V, Valka something or other. But there's this huge plain of water, lava, boulders, and ash, massive, that goes down to the ocean on this particular run. And the waterfalls are huge. It's the most energy of any waterfall in Europe. Hello. And so raw and wild. Just go straight out to sea, taking all the silt-laden water. So this is the Dettifoss Falls, and it has a viewing platform on the other side. You can see a couple buses up there. And 100 meters across, a 45-meter drop. And there are people everywhere. Whereas today, we were by ourselves. It was great, beautiful. So, a good start. There's another falls called Selfoss up a little ways, which again is beautiful, that we had to ourselves. But it's spread out a good bunch more. So I'm going to be going through Spray here in a minute, which will be interesting and cold. So I'll run through that for sure. You can see it up ahead. There's also an easy route and a harder route. The harder route goes down closer to the water. There's a bunch of boulders and whatnot, which sounds like a little more fun, so I'll probably do that in between here and Waterfall or whatever. There's another one down there. I am so sorry about the pronunciation of all the Icelandic places. Just don't have it. This will be the third 20-mile day plus I've had in the last 4 days, so really good training for the Bigfoot 200 and for Laugavagur. I'm sure a lot of people are tapering, but I don't think it's a good idea for me. Ski, muddy, and perilously slippery on this. But I'm getting pounded by spray, but look at where we are. Woo! What a day. Oh, and we're almost through the spray already. It cracks me up. There's a sign that says, trail is slippery when wet, slightly clay-like. So change of direction is really tough. But when is it freaking not wet? That's what I want to know. Almost. Look, there's my slide right there. I was going to clean the lens for you. There we go. Look at this. Look at this. This is absolutely sublime. Oh, Iceland. You so wild. The trail is really volcanic. Reminds me a little bit of Hawaii in that sometimes it's difficult to see exactly where the trail is. And instead of being marked by cairns, as they are in Hawaii, here they're marked with these little yellow tipped things, but I guess there's a bit of a path down there. So getting down is a little bit more of a challenge. Looks like there's been at least one hiker through here today, which is good. Maybe someone coming up or someone going down, but I know at least somebody has been out here. But here we are, essentially in a super tricky, softball-sized lava boulder field. So foot placement, really paramount importance here. And it's hard to look up and see where you're going the distance when and if the trail is not obvious. But I think if you're doing this kind of stuff in Iceland, you probably have enough experience to know that you don't want to be too reckless. Only a little reckless is always good. Where you take the Black Diamond route or the easy route. And we're going to, oh jeez, Hagfragilsunderlendi. Hagfragilsunderlendi. Hafragilsunderlendi. 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 That's where we're going. A harder route, which I'm sure it is, especially based on the fact that we're about to have webbing that's there for safety all clung to. And look at this, God bless you, Iceland, look at that. They put proper abrasion protection against where the webbing is rubbing against the rock. You never see that in the US and Canada hardly, especially in a lot of places. But yeah, that might be a good thing to hold on to. This last section here, it does look rather rock climby. I'll probably need both hands for that because it just goes straight down. Actually, you know what? I don't think I will need it. I'll give you a slightly better angle here, and maybe we'll hold up like this. Just work our way down. Slippery. If it was really raining, probably be less grip than there actually is, but so we survived that no rope. But the rope's just a good indicator of where you need to go. And then we're back on extremely technical trail descending on loose ash and scree. Today will be a little bit of a novelty for most of my runs. It's mostly downhill, so I'm not going to have too much uphill to contend with. It's good for a recovery day. I already feel lava going in my socks. I chose not to wear gaiters today, figuring there wouldn't be too much of that, but don't want to wear out my gaiters before the big foot race. Whew, slippery rocks too. They're unstable rocks. The funny thing about this country is it's so young. Virtually all the rocks that you see are sharp-edged. 18 million years above water ain't enough to soften them around too much. So most of the rocks are like this, just sharp, sharp, sharp. So it's good for grip in some ways, but it's also a little bit more treacherous. One other thing that I thought I would mention is the shoes that I continue to be using and liking pretty well, with the exception of the tread, are these Ultras. Ultras, and here's where they are. These are brand new. They've got, maybe 80 miles on them, maybe a little less. And the tread is already wearing out. But here, you know how elephants have their big feet? If you step on stuff like fragile vegetation, they don't disturb it as much as some animals because they got these big soft feet. So I feel like with these Ultras, I'm an elephant clobbing around with these huge soles, which will probably help me stay above in mud and snow conditions. So almost like wearing a very small snowshoe, especially when I ordered half size big. Size 12 and a half is usually what I get. But I was noticing on downhill with this particular shoe, I was hitting the front. You don't want to do that in a 200-mile race. So I got the 13s, which are a little bit loose, but like I say, they're like small boats. Oh, what a lovely, lovely, lovely place to run. All right, enough yakking. I'm gonna put you away for a while. I don't know how much memory I've got. Our car's cigarette lighter burnt out, and that's what I was relying on to recharge things, including my computer, so I could offload media. But we'll do that today anyway, so we'll make sure the next couple runs will be good. Cheers. It's really cool here. It's so wet. It's rained so much that if you step on the grass directly, it's basically sinks in like a swamp. So everything has been made stepping stones to get through, which is great. So had one little moment back there, got off trail. It was in the scree and trail markers disappeared, so I started to descend back down to where I saw the last one. I saw the other trail markers stayed low. Nice little unstable rock. Just kind of tipped me backwards. Not quite a fall because I was still on my feet, but whacked my back into the pointy end of a rock. Remember I was just saying how those rocks are pointy? Yeah, right in the small of my back. So, and now also running through the, oh, these look like blueberry bushes. But I don't think we're gonna find any blueberries. Probably too early in the summer. This is, by the way, July, what's the date? I think it's like the 16th or 17th or something like that. So middle of summer. Temperature, I'm gonna say upper 40s Fahrenheit, centigrade, probably 9 to 10 degrees. So back on the stepstones again too. Oh, that was an uneven one. A rocker stone. Oh my word, even these ones are not high enough up to keep you dry. And now we got boards. Shades of the West Coast Trail in Vancouver Island. My feet are going to be wet anyway, so I'm not sure how useful this is going to be. Trying to balance on rocks all the way. All right. Coming to another magnificent Iceland waterfall. Guess how many people are here? 0 until I got here. Now 1. Oh my word. It looks like I can scramble down across the rocks and get right in the very edge of the falls. Which is of course what I'm going to have to do. I can scramble across. It looks like I can stay dry the whole way. Nobody to take my picture though when I get down there. Except for me. So we got down to the edge of the falls. Holy. Look at that. Now we just got to get across there. Looks like we can do dancing around on the very edge of the falls. Ooh, a triple. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I love that you can get this close to such a monstrous waterfall. This is a cool spot. Monster, monster, monster waterfall. Look at how much water is flowing over there. I think it's 200 square meters per second. That's a lot. This reminds me of some of the scree and boulders that you have to deal with on the North Shore of Vancouver. Running along stuff like this is just about as technical as it gets. You can see that's our, see the little yellow tip? That's our trail across there. I'm not even sure where it goes across. Oh, it looks like it goes. Huh. I don't know where it scrambles up, but I'll figure that out. So if you slide, this is how sharp the rocks are. That's the back of my leg. I didn't even realize that I'd done that. But when I sat down on the rock and poked my back, did that as well. One thing you got to watch with these boulder fields is, although they're all fairly good placements, some of them, even big rocks, shift. And when they do, you just got to be ready to maneuver with them. So this type of thing will slow us down a lot, your per mile time. I told John I would be 15 minutes a mile-ish. I'll probably make some up, but this has been nowhere close, especially with stopping at the waterfall and things like that. So I'm aiming 4 hours for this run this time, 21 miles. Oh wow. Check out the hoodoo, or the troll as they call them here. So we made it across right there. There is a bit of a tiny path you can barely see on the sliding scree field. The interesting thing I want to show you is, you see how clear and blue that water is? You can see right down to the bottom. And then as you go out to where the silt-laden river comes in, it's all gray and dirty, and you can see some sort of leaking in, almost like a crazy watercolor blending together. There's really clean water here, and then there's the glacial silt-laden water, and it all comes sailing down together. This canyon is formed from lava, basaltic columns, and basaltic columns form hexagonal columns as they cool vertically to where they've been put down. So if you look here, it all looks like a bunch of organ pipes all the way along. That's lava, basaltic lava that's been worn away from the river, of course, but it cools and it forms these hexagonal columns. They're really cool. This place is known for it. And up a canyon to rejoin the trail in the non-black diamond portion. Beautiful plants. You got these flowers and green, and that water. Oh, sometime before the end of the trip, I'm going to take a nice icy cold dip. Skinny dipping somewhere in Iceland. Got to do it. I don't know where exactly it'll happen yet, but we'll see. Again, just a beautiful trail. Just climbed out of the canyon. You can see the trail along there, and then this trail along here. And now I'm over the river. You can see little streams and whatnot really clear, and the big falls. And then this is where we're going. Right now, ahead to rejoin the main trail, and from there I think it's going to be pretty uniform downhill without being too technical. I think I've already done the most technical parts of this run, and I've probably been on the video camera a little bit more because it's so interesting. But when we get to the top, it'll be a little different. A lot of dew and moisture in the plants, so my feet are soaked. Not because I've been in the water, but because the plants are just leaching into my feet. They're shedding their water. You see if you shake that, yeah, all water. So I was wearing long pants. They'd be wet pretty much up to my thighs. So shorts are good for the moment. Up, that came out of the canyon. Here's the sign delineating the easy route back to Dettifoss. and then we're heading in this direction. So quite a ways to go still today. Done the interesting part. Now it's just a question of putting in time in miles. So I'm going to eat something and start to do my duty, grind it out. We're going to be apparently running along this canyon rim the whole way. This is where we're going. It's even a little lighter down there, so I'm excited to perhaps find some sunshine. It's a little cold right now, but if I'm working, I'm okay. This trail, and noticing this big dirt slide area is on the trail. So I imagine it rained a lot last night. We were sleeping in a van, and it's just pouring all night long. And occasionally the soil just can't take the moisture and just lets go. So just past the first couple people that I've seen. They're back there, little spots of red. I don't know if you can see them. Looks like they're backpacking. They might have been camping there, or they're stopping for a break. But continuing on this trail, it's just skirts the rim. A lot of variety. Some, you know, dirt, rut like this, and another landslide. Look at this, a little tiny one. Some bushes, some rocky lava moonscapes. Like another waterfall there. You can see the mist rising up from it. Reminds me of a cross between Hawaii and England, with a green mountain, steep things, and then just kind of rolling, almost moorish, like the moors in England running. You got to pay attention to where you're going, because it's definitely somewhat technical, but it's not bad. General overall downhill grade, which is really nice. Because a lot of stuff has stopped flowing. You can see this was probably a nice waterfall joining that one over there. And this is also a little side stream. And because it's July and everything's melted off, it's not running now. This would be probably passable if it was running, but it would be cold, that's for sure. And then it would just go off there. This is a country with so much natural beauty. It's ridiculous. I'm very much enjoying my days out. Sometimes in the morning it's a bit hard. You're warm in the van. It's raining outside. You think, uh-oh, I'm going to be cold. And my limbs are a little chilly, but my core is pretty warm, so I've got a sweat going, which I usually do with this, the vest. So it's good when it's cold, not so good when it's warm. Just coming to an overlook of the other waterfall we've been looking at. And again, just a sweep of the landscape. It is gorgeous. I think there's another, about halfway, there's some sort of campsite or a place where people stop coming up the rougher road. So I've been going almost 2 hours, but I'm probably only a little over a third of the way, not halfway. Because of the beginning with all the down and up bouldery technical stuff. But we've been flowing nicely now, so to a little parking area, which looks like it has a little map as well. Means that we're making progress. We got a few cars here and a bathroom. How civilized. It should tell us how far we're going. Hello. Hi there. Oh, there we are. Have a good one. Like I'm running through a magic elf fairy kingdom. Katlar. Well, that goes down. This goes in the direction I think we want to go. But in Iceland, they have the hidden people, or elves. And apparently, more than half of the population believes in the hidden people and the elves. So, this looks like the type of place where they might hang out. There's a series of caves with these basaltic overhang that looks like nobody really uses or goes in. But very striking feature of the landscape. Yellow ribbon across the course has just turned extremely mucky and muddy. There's the bridge we just crossed. I'm assuming this is it, but I'll feel better when I see another marker. Ooh. Oh, slippery, slippery, slippery. And muddy, muddy, muddy. But I think this is it. I guess if we stay next to the river, it's hard to go wrong. We had to cross that somewhere. So that was probably the crossing. Hoping you don't have to come back up this, but look at this. Purple, yellow flowers, beautiful. Look like birch trees and maybe larch. We met oh, there's a yellow thing, good. So I know we're on the right track. So yesterday we were commenting how apparently Iceland used to be covered with trees, like 70% covered with trees. And now there's very few trees. Although there are some people with good foresight and long-term planning who are planting, farmers who are planting trees that are large trees that take 80 years to grow. And we were talking about this in the car. Then we go to a hot spring and we start talking to an Icelandic guy. The least likely job to meet somebody who does this job in Iceland, lumberjack. We met a lumberjack. I'm shocked. Holy crap. Isn't that pretty? All of beautiful waterfalls coming down as we're running on this black cindery ash. The valley is getting wider, so I have a feeling we're not going to be on the edge of a dramatic cliff for much more of this run. In between this river and the big river, which is over there, thinking, I wonder how they're going to get us across this thing. And all around, you see that band of vertical basalt. There's a good spot there where, while it was cooling, it started to move. You can see the curves. How do you get across? You walk across in the river. So, gonna be cold. I'm glad my feet are already sort of wet because they're gonna be quite a bit wetter in a moment. It looks like it's beautiful, crystal clear water. But it is chilly. All right, Icelandic river crossing. Wow, it actually feels really good. Oh yeah, if you were in here for a little while, let's make your feet feel good. Look at that. Almost up to knee high, might be up just below the edge of my compression sleeves. Those blue things, by the way, on my legs are compression sleeves. I used to have compression socks, but I like the sleeves better because you can wear whatever socks you like. And compression socks tend to be ridiculously expensive. So one thing I do when I get out of the water is I just sort of stand on my toes like this and try and drain as much out as I can so that it helps the getting stuff out. Whew, that was refreshing though. And now we're back on super muddy trail that at least one other person's been on. You could cross that, take your shoes off, but is what it is. It's kind of nice to get your feet wet too, a little bit refreshing. Now I guess we go up the other side. That was a pretty cool section with a bonus river crossing. So that'll be good because Laugavagur, the race that I'm about to do, and I'm beginning to be able to say it. Ooh, look at this super uber swampy. Rock, 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 rock. My feet are wet, but I don't want them to be muddy and dirty. Laugavagur is a couple places where you've got to cross the river. So now I kind of know what we're going to be dealing with. And these shoes don't have tons of upper to stay wet. So again, just looking to get a little moisture out. So we are climbing out of this little sub-valley. I'll be going up there, right there. But here are some of these formations. So cool, so cool. Some of the basaltic columns, the hexagons, are huge, like a yard across. Some of them are just maybe 4 inches across. Those are some of the smaller ones there. So we've swapped cameras now. We're heading up this hill, and I'm trying my other point and shoot camera. The thing I've been shooting off is this tiny little Sony Exmor. My point and shoot's a little bigger and heavier, and probably still have a decent picture, but it's not going to be stellar. Oh, see, this is the setup here. Just heading back up the hill to get back on the main trail. Adding mileage on this, so probably more like going to be 23 mile, 24 mile day. So there are these signs here and there, like this. Karl og Curling. That's the 2 little posts are growing. And Vesturdalur is, I think it might be the more than halfway point, but I'm not sure. I have to look at the map again to figure it out. So, time to run, diversion over. So, I think we're in Vesturdalur now. And it looks like we're here. So we've gone from this spot in Selfoss, Dettifoss to Vesturdalur, and then got to go down to this last section here. Should be fairly simple. There's a bunch of cars parked here and people having a picnic. So I haven't seen anybody. Saw those 2 campers, and then just a short way down the trail there I saw a couple of people, one of whom was a lady pushing her own wheelchair, so I figured, okay, not too technical up to that point. But from this point out, maybe a few more people on the trail, but I think it's going to peter out again pretty quick. So this is what we're coming up to. And I've taken another diversion. But the route, again, almost demands that we've got to do all these little side routes because they're so interesting. Looks like there's another volcanic cave ahead. I think right there. Oh my gosh. I apologize. This one's harder to keep steady. This is one of the caverns. It looks like it's smoothed basalt columns from the bottom. You can see the hexagonal geometry. I might have to take a picture of that too. And then we head back down a little ways to another spot that's marked, and then up to another. So many spots that are marked. It's kind of crazy. Well, maybe we go around this thing, following the yellow indicators, or maybe we just go around it. I don't know. That might be easier. It's part of the exploration. I love this, the discovery part of the adventure. Holy. Climbing that would be fun. Another time, but it does look quite doable. It just keeps going and leading me onward, beckoning me to spend more time and more miles exploring. And this just goes up. I'm thinking we go around this thing, but don't know for sure. At least the footing is not loose. All this rock is fixed in place. Oh my word. We just keep going. These are like stairs almost. Oh, beautiful. So, I've been informed that this trail does in fact go to Asbyrgi. It kind of winds up and down through the cliff, so it's a little tougher. But I just found some people who confirmed that it does go there. So this is kind of the technical part of the terrain. And an alternate route to get where we want to go. Wow, that is straight down. And wow, look at that. Wow, sometimes the more technical route is far more interesting. So as you can tell by the smile on my face, happy to be on the trail, happy to be on this trail, happy to be in this country. This is one of the trail heroes. I saw him. Hold up what you got there. He's got a shovel, and he has the stakes, the stake master.
Got the stakes.
He is making sure nobody gets too horribly lost out here. What's your name?
My name's Ari.
Ari?
Yeah, Ari. Yeah.
All right, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
Well, thank you for doing the good work. And
Yeah.
Asbyrgi, this way?
Exactly. It's like 14 kilometers, a bit more.
Than the one up there.
What?
Is this the only? There's another trail up there that does the
There's
same.
another trail, but now you're kind of, yeah. I would just take this one.
Well, this one seems like it's more interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good.
Enjoy, man.
Thanks, Ari. Appreciate your efforts. Wow, a real live trail angel. I love those people. And across a big tour group. Looks like someone's doing a walking tour. Moving along. But this is huge wall. Oh, here we go. Water on the lens. Remains interesting, up and down terrain, kind of like a complicated jigsaw puzzle roller coaster, which is entertaining, though it takes a little bit more energy than smooth downhill that follows a river. So taking the harder of the two trails back down to Asbyrgi. Someone has done some work on this trail, as evidenced by all the steps, and some of the steps in some places are basalt segments, but lots of up and down. A couple little ladders we've hit as well. That's where we just came from, and oh my. If you look down the other way, it's straight down that embankment. Oh wow, it looks like we might be summiting on that little thing. I see some sticks out there, so maybe we are. If we are, that's super cool. The ground, mixture of ash that's red and pumice-like light ash. And this is our natural volcanic stairway. Oh my god. This reminds me of Cerro Negro in Nicaragua. There's a black ash mountain like this. And you can snowboard or board down it, sled down it essentially, which is a lot of fun. This looks like there may be a few too many big particles on there that get in your way. Oh yeah, it would be an ugly ride compared to the gentle Nicaraguan ride. Well, some people go straight up, and it looks like there's a way around too. So follow the path or go straight up. That is the question. Let's look at the path first and then we'll go straight up. It does look like it goes up around the back and then summits. You can't not go and hit the summit if you're this close. Gotta do it. It's Tolkien-esque territory, I tell ya. Tolkien-esque. I don't know if there's a path or you just gotta go up. Oh, there is a path. Oh, that's good. One's one way. So many choices. Going off in that direction and back up the other direction too. Now we're running a very fine single track through a meadow. It looks like it goes on for a while. Probably 9K away from my destination. Just came down that path there. That's the big cinder cone I just came off of. And then sweeping along here. So getting low on battery on this too, so probably won't do too many reports unless there's something really spectacular until we get to the car park. Welcome to Iceland, another one of these dilemmas. Here. This way, Asbyrgi 9.5. This way, Asbyrgi 8.6. This way is probably more interesting and exciting, therefore I gotta do the extra distance. So I'm feeling really good on track, which always means, okay, just assess, see what you gotta do. Make sure you're eating and drinking. And I brought out my equivalent of ultra running spinach right here. Can of mandarin oranges with syrup. Delicious, goes down really easy, don't have to worry about not being able to produce saliva and swallowing it, and it will power me down for the next hour or so. So the path we just came down is essentially a stream, but it's running along next to a much larger and mightier stream. So in the distance, you see the mountain there. I'm pretty sure we don't need to go that far. That's where we'll find John and Asbyrgi. So the trail is getting to be swampier and swampier, which means I'm trying my best not to get totally wet feet, but the earth is not able to absorb as much water as been coming down between the snow and the rain, and you end up with a trail that looks like this. Turning 5 hours in, and 21 miles on the fast trail. We probably turned it into 25 miles, maybe, all the back and forth thing. Still along the canyon rim, which is great because it is beautiful. I imagine this is better than the slightly inland, easier trail, but it does add some distance. And the fact that not very many people are on it means that the trail sometimes looks like this. Yeah, or a swamp. which I've just run through. It's almost like this path has been manicured. It's about 10 to 12 inches wide. I'll get a little wider here. And it's just perfect, soft, loamy soil. So, foot strikes. It's almost like you're having to lean into the turn the whole time, because it's a little roller coastery up and down. Woo! Battery's almost done, but I got about 2 miles left and I should be back. Got some text from John, so he's waiting for a hot shower, and hopefully my stuff is charged up, my electronics, because I know I'm gonna have to recharge all this stuff too. You can see the coast and the sea now. Just coming up on a few hiker backpackers with ponchos. It's light rain, but it's not bad. Hello. Hello. I'll just go around the outside. Thank you. I think they were a little surprised to find someone behind them running. Now the path looks like something out of a Dr. Seuss book with all this grass overgrown. Our narrow track has become even narrower. 2.5K to go. Coming to the first sign of civilization. House and a farmhouse, and looks to be all downhill to wherever the campsite is. Maybe just over a mile left right now. So it'll be a 5.5 hour trip doing it the way I did it. So once again, the rule of taking a little bit longer than you think it will comes into play. Look at this, dandelions and buttercups and these beautiful things, beautiful little fern-like things. All right, running along, and we see this big light bulb in a bowl shining for no apparent reason. I'm wondering what is the purpose for that. I wonder why. But now we're in this meadow-like thing. Sometimes it's so overgrown I can't see anything I'm stepping on. I've had a few steps there. I almost stumbled because the steps were more or less invisible. So I made it to the National Park Visitor Center, and this is probably John calling. Let's see. Missed that call, but I'm looking for our van and I don't see our van. Maybe he is across the golf course. I don't see him here. It's just starting to rain too, so maybe I'll go over to the campground. What a nice sight. There's John. Woohoo! So funny when you see a thing on a map and then the reality is. So the trail comes down like way over there.
Yeah, that's right. That's what she said. You have to come back past the visitor center there. You know, the Viking got us in there. You know, it was at the desk. You know. So.
Yeah, I talked to her. She said camping is that way. There's a visitor center. I'm like, okay, there's no vehicle in there.
Yeah.
Nice to have a connection though. How's your day? High five for getting here. Yeah. How was the road?
Road was not bad. Just a bunch of big puddles and stuff.
No, that's no problem. Well, that's good. So now
wasn't bad at all. But you just grab yourself your towel and your stuff, and I got a pocket full of Kroner for you.
Woo! Well, the other choice is if there's a pool locally, if you want to jump in too.
I said it's only a few houses and stuff, but
oh, really?
I think your best bet might be just to jump into the shower for
All
now.
right, we'll do it.
Maybe get something to eat and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, there's our mighty van right there.
Yeah.
The beautiful white Nissan with no Wi-Fi.
No, it has Wi-Fi right now.
Does it?
Yeah.